Kaleigh Mrowka. I serve as one of our 2 assistant directors for residential education here at UMBC. And we've been using circle work and storytelling in the context of restorative practices, both on the proactive side in building community as well as on the responsive side in responding to harm within communities within our residential areas for about 6 years now. So when we're talking about restorative practices in the context of storytelling and circle work, we're really talking about a philosophy of centering individual and community relationships as a way of moving communities forward and solving problems. So people often think of restorative justice, which is really how do we solve problems as a community and think differently about bringing people back into community spaces when things go wrong. Residential halls have used circle methodology without really calling it or being intentional about it for a really long time. But we've really tried to center that as a practice because we know that it strengthens the communities that we have here. And so students start off the year in a circle to set community standards with each other. It's a way that they commit to their community. It's a way that they learn who is on their floor, what's important to them, and they're able to think about the impact that they're going to have on the communities that they're going to be in. From that space, almost all of our floor meetings and conversations are done in circle format. From sitting down with their RA to fill out their roommate agreement meeting, if they're in a room or an apartment space, they sit down and actually in a circle have a conversation about the standards that they want for their space. Within the floor, they do team builder type activities to build community, and then also hold any conversations about harm on the floor or incidents on the floor or things that aren't going well in that circle format. The circle helps people to be able to share. I think that's a really critical piece that we've learned is that people's ability to tell their story within residential spaces really matters. That students can come to the table, bring their whole selves into the community that they're in, and that really transforms what that community can look like for them and their sense of belonging here at UMBC. But particularly when I think about voice in the student experience, I think that's really critical to building community. So if you're thinking about a residential space where we want people to learn how to live in community in a way that many of them haven't done, the ability to feel safe in bringing their voice into that community is important. If they're not showing up as their whole selves, they're not going to build the strength of relationship. They're not going to learn from people who have different perspectives from them. And so by giving them voice, we're giving them space to connect. And to learn how to show up in spaces, how to show up in communities in a way which will serve them both here at UMBC and beyond. And that in itself is a form of agency. I think that circle work allows us to think really critically about the process of making sure that people have voice. So in circle work, everybody has a chance to speak. Everybody has a chance to make their voice heard and to hear the voices of others. And both of those pieces are so critical as components of this work that we do. And one of the things that students tell us pretty regularly is that the ability to come together in spaces where their voice is heard matters for their experience, that it contributes to their sense of belonging here, that it contributes to their ability to make friends, to feel connected to their academic programs, to their residential spaces, and to the university. And we know that students don't stay in college environments if they don't feel connected.